Well, good morning, everybody. We have arrived at our drop-off point. We're on Route 17, which is positioned about halfway between Andover and Rangeley, Maine. And we got a pretty good hike today ahead of us. We're going to start here, actually on the top of a hill, which is kind of unusual. We're going to hike down about a mile, and then we're going to hike up, headed towards the highest peak, which is Bemis Mountain, and then further up from there, we're going to go to Old Blue, and Old Blue is pretty rough and rugged. Both of them are about the same height, so the entire climb is going to be about 2,000 feet from where we started our lowest point up to the highest point. So, and then the toughest part of it all will probably be the hike down from Old Blue back down to South Arm Road, which is where they picked me up yesterday. So I'm going southbound today, and the overall hike is a 13.4 mile hike, so it's a little bit longer than what I've been doing, and it's pretty rugged. So I expect this to be a all-day hike. I probably won't be done before 5 o'clock, and I'm starting a little bit later today too. It's 8 o'clock. So let's get after it and make it happen. We're already up in the clouds. All it can do is get better from here. So hopefully we will get some views today, but you never know about this area. Hope everybody has a great day, and we'll catch up with you soon. All right, everybody. We've reached the bottom of the one mile descent, and now we're going to be turning uphill. And we got a gradual climb. I think it's about over 3 miles of climb to get to the top of Bemis Mountain. It's 3,500 feet, and I think we're at about 1,400. I know it's over a 2,000 foot incline or ascent, so it's going to take a while, but it looks like it sets up as a relatively gradual climb, so that is welcomed. So we're making progress, and we'll keep you posted as we get closer to that top. All right, everybody, climbing another one of these rock wall things, rocks, hills, mountain, I don't know. We're still on our climb up to Bemis Mountain. There's actually 2 peaks on Bemis. There's a first peak and a second peak, or a south peak and a north peak. In this case, since we're going south, we would hit the north peak first, or in this case, the second peak first. So we have about 1/10 of a mile to get to that peak. Not far, but you can already guess and anticipate what views we might have. Yes, at least I am consistent. If I'm going to climb a mountain, it's going to be covered in a cloud. It's okay. I'd say it's been true pretty much about 90% of the mountains I've climbed so far in Maine. I'm hopeful that, Lord willing, if I'm able to get up Mount Katahdin in just a few weeks, then, in fact, I'd say, probably less than 3 weeks, that it'll be a pretty day. That would be a blessing. We can live with clouds on all the rest of them, but if we can have a clear day on that day, that would be a blessing. Whew. Okay, I think this Maybe this rock up here, it looks like a top hat. Could be our peak. It's not, it's pretty close to it. We'll see if we can find a sign. All right, everybody, we have made it to the second peak of Bemis Mountain, which would be the most northern peak of the mountain. Couple of points of discouragement. It's still 5 miles to the main peak, and I also know it's a little bit, the main peak is a bit higher, so there's still a fair amount of climbing to do. And because there's already been a lot of climbing, the other point of discouragement is that I've only made it 3.1 miles from Highway 17, which is where I started this morning. So it seems like it's been so much further. It's been slow so far, that's for sure. I'm probably doing maybe a little bit better than a mile per hour up that ascent to get to this point. So we're not really killing it on time, that's for sure, but not really a lot different from what I've experienced over the past couple weeks. So I should continue to remind myself of that, and I can only hope, and I'm sure it will, towards the end of the day when I start heading back down to South Arm Road where I'll get picked up. It's going to be mostly downhill. I'm hoping I'll pick up some pace there, but I also know that it's pretty severe downhill, so those type of downhills are almost like going uphill. They're so slow and somewhat dangerous if you try to press it fast, at least for me. So as I stated from the beginning, this is probably going to be a hard, long, slow day, unfortunately, but you have those, you just have those, and you have to kind of look forward to tomorrow. I spoke with my buddy Dutch on the phone last night. We talk about once a week or so, and he's now about 3 days ahead of me. And I'd love to catch up with him, but that's not really the vision, It's hard at this late stage in the game to make up 3 days, and he's not slowing down for me, that's for sure. He's got plans of his own, but nevertheless, because we are so pretty close in proximity, he has a good memory of the miles that I'm about to do, because he's just done them, right, in the last few days. And as he stated, we went through every day, and some days, like today, he admitted that it was pretty tough, but the plan I have for tomorrow that he did a few days ago is going to be relatively easy. So you got to sometimes look past the day and be reminded that not every day is going to be just like this one. Not every day is going to have a trail that's nothing but a big old mud hole that there is no way to skip around. That's just how it goes. All right, see y'all down trail. We got a view. I know, it's surprising. What a view we got, huh? Very nice. Alrighty. So, believe it or not, we have still not made it to the top of Bemis Mountain.
So we've been climbing all daggone day. And I think we're still 6/10 of a mile from the peak of, the first peak of Bemis Mountain, which would be the south peak of Bemis Mountain. And we should be there shortly. I don't know if there's a view there or not, so I certainly, when I saw one at that viewpoint, I took the opportunity to go ahead and capture that shot, because you never know. Often these peaks are lined with trees or fogged in or something. So we got what we got when we could get it. So let's press on and get to the top of this one. Almost there, folks. I think at the top of this rock climb right here will be right at the top of Bemis. That's where we came from. Of course, this is where we're going. I could get there if I'd stop taking so many breaks. I'm always taking advantage of these trees on the side to hold on to, pull up. Oh, yeah. And just like that, I don't see a sign, but I feel like we're real close to the top. Maybe not. There's another hill over there. I wonder if we have to go down and go up the top of that yet to hit the Bemis. Oh boy. Let's check the app. Yeah, I've double checked the app. I do believe that top right there is the top of Bemis Mountain, which is 0.2 away. And then from there, we'll go to the top of this ridge, which I believe is Old Blue. And we'll have to cross over that and then go down that hill, down the backside of it for pickup. So we're making progress. When you see these mountains this far away, just like, man, that's a long way to go. I can't believe. But before you know it, you're up there. So let's get up there. Let's go. All right, everybody. We did this yesterday. The top of Bemis Mountain was so nondescript. I did not see a sign. There might have been one. That we just passed the peak, and of course it's completely covered with trees. I would have stopped for sure if there was any view. So we've accomplished the top of Bemis Mountain, the first peak, and of course we did the second peak earlier today, which is a little bit more obvious. Now we're headed, we got about 4 miles to the top of Old Blue. So we're gonna drop down obviously a bit. And the good news, and there is good news here, is that the majority of the climbing we've done is the majority of the climbing we need to do. So there's going to be a drop down, and then there's going to be a climb up to Old Blue, which is probably maybe 500 or 600 feet climb up. So that's welcome news for me. So let's get after it. When we get these type of trails right here, in between these mountain peaks, we need to really rock and roll. Take advantage of that, because I know once we start down the other side of Old Blue, it's going to be pretty technical, you know, watching where you're stepping and boulders and rock walls and maybe holding on to rebar. I don't know, but it's slow. That's the point of it all. So where we can, like this, we need to be moving as fast as we possibly can. Okay, y'all, check with you a little further down the trail. All right, folks, we have made it to the top of Old Blue Mountain, elevation 3,600 feet, roughly. And tough climb, actually, towards the end there. So I was huffing and puffing trying to make it by 3 o'clock. It is currently 2:59, because they tell me it's about a 2-hour trip down. So I was hoping to be down by 5. So we're going to see how that works. But here we are, and unfortunately, well, it is what it is. I hate to say unfortunately, because it's just the mountaintop and lots of trees and lots of cloud. That's what we got. So let's start moving down this hill and make it to that extraction point. Okay, everybody. This is the cabin hostel where I stayed the last couple days. Nice stay here. Do a great job with dinner and breakfast for sure. But since we talked last, I was at the top of Old Blue Mountain, and I had about had 2 hours. It's close to, it's a little over 3 miles, I think, from the top of that mountain down to where I needed to get picked up. And I hustled down to the bottom and as fast as I could, because I didn't want the person waiting on me. And sure enough, they were waiting on me when I got there. Albeit I got there right on time. So I really didn't have an opportunity to do a closing video, and I didn't take the opportunity to video much of the downhill either. So we're going to go ahead and close the video out here. Overall, we had a good day. It's over a 13-mile day. It's nice to do a little extra miles, more than I've been doing, and I think tomorrow's going to be another about 13-mile day as well, so that's a good thing. But it had some, you know, really big climbs. It wasn't anything really interesting, I don't think, or exciting about the day. There wasn't a lot of views, and of course when we climb the top of some of these peaks, you kind of anticipate that you're going to get some views off of these peaks, but in many cases the peaks themselves are just sitting in the middle of the woods. And of course we still had a lot of cloud cover today as well. So, but that's the way it works out here. You know, the main thing is to go ahead and just advance the miles and make progress towards the end, and that's what I did today. So overall it was a good day, and I felt good about the miles that I did and the work that went into it, and accomplishing the plan. So that's what we did. So I hope everybody else had a great day today, and we'll look forward to catching up with you first thing in the morning.